What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D, and I am back with another one. What's good, y'all? What's good? Happy Friday. Technically, it's Saturday, but it's Freestyle Friday. I want to welcome everybody back to the channel. What's good, y'all? I'm gonna wait for a few people to join to come on in before we start tonight's conversation up. Got a few guests I sent invites out to, so we're just gonna wait for everybody to come on in before we start tonight's conversation. If you guys want to come on in and join the conversation and come on up here, put your email in the comments and I'll bring you guys on in. Yep, but what's good out there? What's good, Facebook? What's good, YouTube, Instagram? Let me check my audio to make sure I can be heard before we start up today's show. The comment section is definitely open. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Your boy is closing down on 1K subscribers, and I cannot do it without you guys hitting that subscribe button. So do me a favor. Please hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps your boy out. But yeah, we got it's Memorial Day weekend, man. What you guys got going on for the weekend? A lot of people gonna be grilling, pulling the grills out. I can't wait. I'm definitely gonna be grilling tomorrow. I want been wanting some barbecue for a while. Been wanting to pull the grill out. So now finally have a chance to pull it out. I'm off for the next 3 days. Got a 3-day weekend. It's been a long week, just getting off of work, just coming on in. So like I said, I sent a few invites out. I'm just waiting on a few people to come in before we start up tonight's conversation. It's Freestyle Friday. What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So like I said, your boy is closing in on 1K subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button as you come in, and don't forget to make sure you hit that like button too, and also share. It helps your boy stay in the YouTube algorithm. For most of for most of my people that's watching me over on on Facebook, I need for you guys to come on over to YouTube, come over to my page, the What Up Doe Show, and please hit that subscribe button. Because I got a lot of people watching on Facebook, and I need you guys to come on over on YouTube and watch and hit that subscribe button. Please do me that favor. So while we waiting on everybody to come in, I'm gonna get everything queued up about what I'm going to be discussing and talking about. We're going to be talking about that situation that happened in Detroit. You had a situation, and I believe this started Monday. You had a young man, and I got his name. I got it written down. I'm rushing in and just wanted to come on in and start everything up live and go. But I'm going to play video of this situation. This online beef shit has gotten out of control, with our people. We social media should be used as a tool for something positive. We take social media and we put our lives on it, like far as like with this beef and shit. This shit should not be part of social media. And a young man and a young woman lives were took, I believe Wednesday. So I'm getting ready to set up the video to start you guys up in case you guys have not heard, about what happened. I got a comment in there. Queen Williams said, "Hi, what up, though, Queen? Make sure you hit that subscribe button coming on in." But yeah, have you guys heard about that incident that happened in Detroit? You had a young man, that got into a squabble with another man, and it led to this young man going on Facebook discussing what happened. Was making some derogatory, comments about the man's mother, about a dead child, and things like that. Queen Williams said, "I'm a boy, BTW." Okay. Well, make sure you hit that subscribe, like, and you share. Whatever you are, it's all good to me. Welcome to the show. I appreciate everybody over here. But yeah, man, have we gone too far as a race with this social media online beef? But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna let me get everything set up so you guys can see and hear, because I want to show the video. So let me get this video set up. So how's everybody Friday been going? Hopefully everybody had a great day. It's been a long work week for your boy. What up, Norman Jaquez Gray? Stream. I'm not understanding what you meant by that, but I need for you guys to make sure that you're hitting that likes, commenting, you're subscribing on your way in. But we're getting ready to, it's Freestyle Friday. We're getting ready to chop it up. We're getting ready discuss this situation that happened with a young man and a brother and a sister that got murdered Wednesday night in Detroit over some social media beef. So I got video. So let me get this video and everything queued up. So give me 1 second. I got to make sure. Okay, in this video that I'm getting ready to show, hold on, give me 1 second, you guys. And I should have had everything already queued up, but when I came straight into the house and pretty much got everything I got everything, just want to come straight in. So I did not queue anything up. So I'm getting everything set up now. So give me a second. Okay, so but yeah, I couldn't believe it. And this situation, like I said, happened Monday. You had a young man that got into a beef with another young man. They fought. And then after that, this young man, and they got into it a while back, I believe. You know what? Let me get the video queued up. Give me 1 second, and then and we'll just go from there. But yeah, man, it's I can't believe, that our people continue to throw their lives away over stupid shit. Social media beef. Okay, and fair use of this video. I'm using this for entertainment and educational purposes only. So fair use. So let me know, you guys, if this video is playing properly. No buffering and nothing like that. So let me know how the video comes. I mean, how this video is playing. If we have any buffering or anything, let me know and I'll stop it. But here we go.
Like I said, his dead baby, his dead ass mama, bitch ashes like on the tip of this blunt, bitch a bag of bones. Which one? Nah. And I said it. That dead ass baby too.
Family is planning not one, but 2 funerals for 2 siblings killed in what appears to be a targeted attack in Detroit. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Mike Duffy. And even more heartbreaking, a baby found alive at the scene will now have to grow.
Let me ask you something. What would you do if someone went on Facebook Live and decided to talk reckless about somebody's dead mother, not in private, not in a text, live, what would you do if someone went on Facebook for the whole internet to see? Because that's exactly what people in Detroit are saying happened right before it started like any other day. Ray Johnson was 33 years old, a Detroit rapper, East Side bred, the kind of guy who moved through life with the confidence that comes from knowing your block, knowing your people, and knowing how to make noise online. He had a following, he had a voice, and like a lot of people in today's world, he used social media like it was a stage. The problem with performance, his sister Takeria Johnson, everybody called her Rita, was 27. She was the kind of woman people remember. Her cousin Tonia Brown described her as a good spirit, someone who would help anybody, give the clothes off her back without thinking twice. If you knew Rita, you knew what she looked like because wherever she was, her cousin was right there next to her. They were inseparable. And on the afternoon of May 20th, 2026, Rita had her 1-month-old baby boy in the back seat of her car. 1 month old. She was just living her life, just existing, just being present in a moment that had absolutely nothing to do with her. It's the part by the end of it. If you're new here and you stumble across this video button right now, subscribe to Shadow Crime and click that bell icon so you never miss when we drop a new case.
And give a shout out to Shadow Crime for this video.
Won't dig into. And we're just getting started on this one. Sleep on it. Now to Ray. The word on the streets of Detroit is that Ray got on Facebook Live not long before shooting and decided to go at someone hard And we're not talking regular trash talk. People are saying he crossed a line that a lot of people in those streets consider unforgivable. He talked about someone's deceased mother on live in front of an audience. Now, detail having been said by any news outlet yet, but it's what the community is saying. And in Detroit, the streets talk fast and they talk loud. What we do know for certain is that family members confirmed this killing was rooted in a very public social media feud Ray was deeply involved in. Rita had nothing to do with any of it. That's what makes this so hard to sit with.
Sorry, make sure they open. I'm not getting fresh to this nigga. Mom on clothes. Keep playing, I'm gonna go get her name airbrush on me. So, not playing, put icy mask on. Tell him set up a boxing match. Boxing with his mama on the beater and a ski mask and beating that bitch. Nah, and tell him this is what your mama should have did. Look, man, everybody talking about chill out. What chill mean? I don't know what chill mean. Chill me, chill out, I'm bringing the problem to y'all, nigga, flat out. Give a nigga, brothers, mamas, nobody, nigga. He shouldn't have been talking. So I'm a troll all day. And if y'all feel some type of way, come get trolled on too. Or y'all can get beat up. Like I said, dead baby, fuck dead ass mama, that bitch is like on the tip of this blunt, bag of bones. Which one? Nah. And I said it. That dead ass baby too. Nah. And whoever else feels some type of way. Town about that brother, none of them. My brother in jail. Give a fuck brother. What they gonna do? Nothing. I'm still gonna be outside, still in the hood. Nobody ain't gonna do nothing. I'm still gonna make my money and ride. Nigga, fuck mama. Bit ain't is on my blunt. Ha ha. Christmas Day just passed. The day the sun coming up. Nigga. Nah, y'all could. Next person tell me chill out, I'm trolling you. Flat out, or I'm pulling up and I'm gonna smack the shit out of you. Nah, and that's how I'm playing it. Y'all. Nah. That nigga dead ass mama and that dead ass baby. Tell that
Wednesday, May 20th.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it for now and come out of here, and we'll just have a conversation about what we heard thus far. So yeah, you hear this guy online on social media trolling pretty much the guy that he has beef with, putting all his information out on there for 2 days. Pretty much, I believe this started up Monday. You know, he's riding around the neighborhood, supposedly looking for this guy that he got beef with, you know, trying to find this guy, you know, trying to pull up in all the areas where this guy is at, you know, and then what was so crazy about that, you know, he's on Facebook, you know, telling everybody what he's getting ready to do, and then also said that he didn't have a gun, you know, and riding around looking for, you know, some motherfuckers that's about that life. You know, so I don't understand. I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Give me your thoughts on this situation. You saw the video, you know, young man, you know, 33 years old, sister, I believe she was 27. And I'll go back and play some other videos that I have, you know, but, you know, he put it out in the atmosphere and it came back on him, you know, 2 days later, this young man and his and his sister was outside on the same block where he was looking for these guys that they were on the same block. And what's so ironic about this situation, they were talking about a situation that had happened a few years ago, a year before a friend of theirs had died in, I believe, a car accident, you know, and they were getting ready to have a balloon release thing the next day, you know, and then the very next day, the brother and the sister end up murdered. You know, somebody walked up on them on foot. And it's a bunch of different stories that we're hearing out there, you know, but supposedly, you know, the brother and his sister were in two separate cars when the incident happened, you know, and what's so crazy about the situation, you know, what happened, it was a baby in the back of the car that the sister was in that got shot up, you know, but the baby didn't die, but the young man and the sister, they both died that day. They died, I believe it was Wednesday night, you know. So, and I have some more video that I'm going to play about that. It was crazy, you know. She was at the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. It was a lot of rumors that, you know, she made comments too back and forth, but I don't believe she had nothing to do with the situation, you know. So it's just crazy, man, like how this young generation use social media You know, and I don't understand this, you know, and you guys got into me, like, kind of, you know, put me onto that. Why is it that, you know, and it's only our people that's on social media, you know, with this social media beef shit. This shit is stupid as fuck. We just lost 2 lives, you know, a child just lost a mother. You know what I mean? And 2 lives were taken over some social media bullshit. You know, so I just want to come in and, like I said, I have other videos that I have queued up. So let me I'm getting ready to go to my email. I sent them to myself. So, and I'm kind of upset with myself that I didn't have everything queued up. I just wanted to come right in and talk about this situation. But, you know, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Give me your thoughts on this situation. You know, I know a lot of you guys hopefully you've heard of the story. It's been all on social media. It's been all on Facebook. You know, and I know a lot of my subscribers are from Detroit. You know, a lot of people are. And I know you guys probably have heard about this situation, and a lot of people haven't. So, you know, I'm doing my due diligence trying to bring you guys this information. But it was just another sad situation, and I don't understand. Why do our young people always have to go to social media, air their business out, say what they're getting ready to do? You know, because this guy, he was all on social media, which what you guys saw. So let me get some more videos queued back up. You know what? I'll finish playing some more of this video. The video that I already had. So give me 1 second. You know, but I just don't understand, why do our people continue to use social media for like a beefing situation? You know, I don't understand that, but here we go. Give you guys a little bit more information on this.
Are both parked outside a relative's home on McKinney Street near I-94.
Let me hold on. I don't. It's not letting me. Yeah, give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. So let me know if you guys can hear this and see the video clearly. Hopefully, I don't have any.
This was a stray bullet situation.
Going on.
The suspect came on foot. He walked up to those 2 vehicles and opened fire deliberately and intentionally. Purpose. Police were on the scene within 5 minutes. He got there. Ray John, just like that. Now, have you ever been somewhere just minding your business, just existing, and something happened that pulled you into a storm you had no part in creating? Because that's exactly where Rita was that day. She wasn't involved in any beef. She wasn't on any live. She wasn't talking reckless about anybody. She was just there, present, being a sister.
And let me know if you guys can hear this clearly, and I want to make sure there's no buffering going on.
Sink in for a second. A 1-month-old baby, barely in this world long enough to open his eyes fully and recognize his mother's face, and sitting in the back of that car while someone unloaded 12 rounds into those vehicles. By some miracle, and I mean that literally, that baby boy was not physically hurt. Officers found him in the back seat and took him to the 9th precinct, where he was eventually turned over to family members. But here's what doesn't leave you. That baby is going to grow up without his mother. He is going to ask questions one day. He is going to want to know what happened, who she was, why she isn't there. And the answer to that question traces back to a Facebook Live session and words that could never be taken back. Cousin Tonia Brown spoke to the news cameras not long after, still in shock, still trying to process what just happened to her family. She said she was literally on the phone with Rita minutes before the shooting, telling her she was on her way to meet her, 10 to 15 minutes away. That's how close she was to being there too. She said the moment her grandmother called asking about rumors of shooting, She looked up and saw Rita's car on the news. That is the kind of moment that changes a person forever.
2 funerals for 2 siblings killed in what appears to be a targeted attack in Detroit. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Mike Duffy. And even more heartbreaking, a baby found alive at the scene will have to grow up without his mother. We first brought you this double shooting on McKinney Street as breaking news last night at 6. Well, now, 24 hours later, 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham is following up with the victim's family and learning why it may have been a case of wrong place, wrong time.
The victims gunned down here on McKinley Street in broad daylight had been identified by family as Corey Johnson. Her cousin Brown Ross is in.
Girl was like my sister. We were together every day. You see her face, you see mine. She was a good spirit. She'd help anybody. She'd get her clothes off her back.
Tony Brown says she was headed to meet her cousin, 20-year-old Rita Johnson, on Wednesday afternoon when her grandmother called, asking about rumors of a shooting. Moments later, she saw footage of Rita's car on the news.
I didn't know what to think. Like, I was just on the phone with her and telling her I was just about to come meet her in like 10 to 15 minutes to get ready for a ride out that we were having today.
In a cruel twist of fate, Rita and her brother, 33-year-old Ray Johnson, were preparing to gather the very next day for a balloon release, marking nearly 4 years since a friend died in a car crash. Now, they being mourned. Targeted, the siblings were in separate vehicles out of his home on McKinney Street, and the suspect on foot. That's all investigators are saying at this point. Brown believes the public feud online that Rita had part of.
Media stuff going on. And
Social media?
yeah, I hope this is a lesson to everybody in the world.
Did you say Rita was caught in the...
Yes, definitely was. She should have never even been here, just, wrong place at the wrong time.
But amid the horror, a miracle. Police say Rita's 1-month-old baby boy was in the back seat of the vehicle during the rain of bullets. He was physically unharmed.
And her baby was in the car. Like, you have no empathy, no sympathy at all.
How is the baby doing?
He's fine. By the grace of God, God protected him, and he's here, he's living. Now we have to raise this child and let him know that his mother was a wonderful woman.
Investigators do not have a suspect description yet. They're scouring neighborhood surveillance cameras for leads as the hunt continues for Ray and Rita's killer.
What is your message to the person who did this?
Justice will be brought, and I hope you think about what you did.
Anyone with information about this case is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP. On the city's east side, Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
And we're certainly thinking.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it and come out of that. So yeah, another sad situation, and I just don't understand why and this is Rita and Ray Johnson. I don't understand why he would put his business out there and allow himself to, pretty much he caused his own death. He put it out there in the atmosphere. He was running around town, and a lot of people say he got what he asked for, but, no one deserves to die, over words. At the end of the day, pretty much all he was just doing was just, on Facebook, bumping his gums, I should say, because he even said himself he did not have a firearm that day, but you do not, and this should be a lesson learned, for anyone else thinking about, doing some stupid shit like this. This shit was stupid as fuck. Who goes on social media with beef with a motherfucker that you already had beef with? This crazy. He all ran through alleys, trying to pull up on different spots where he thought the guy, was at and things like that. You know what I mean? He pretty much, like I said, he got what he asked for. But the whole thing about it, man, it was a baby in that car, and I'm not going to say, when killers come, they don't ask questions, they shoot first and ask questions later, and they still don't even have anybody, no suspects, at hand, and they interviewed, the police actually interviewed the guy that he was supposedly had beef with, but no charges or no, I don't even believe that he was brought, down for any questioning or anything like that. I'm definitely going to keep you guys in tuned on this case, but Big Murph P60 said I have monster size. Okay, yeah, man. Hey, quit coming here making stupid comments. That's crazy, man. We're having a discussion on, a serious situation, man. Why is it that, we take our business to social media, put it out there, and I don't know what he was expecting. I don't know what he thought. I don't know if he thought that these guys was not going to come back, and handle that situation. He was talking about this man's dead mother, and a child that had died. He talked a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, do I think he deserved to die? No. If anything, he should have got his ass whooped, because from what they were saying, these two young men had fought previously, and then one young man just couldn't let it go. So I just want to come on here for a second and talk about that situation. It was dumb. It was stupid. We as a group, as a race, man, we have to use social media for better tools than to come on here, putting our business, airing our business out, and then this man end up bringing his sister into this bullshit. His sister ended up losing her life over some bullshit that she didn't have nothing to do with, and by the grace of God, that baby did not get hit and he didn't lose his life, so it's sad. This baby is going to have to grow up without a mother. Hopefully the father, is in his life and he'll be able to take over, and be able to raise this baby up right, because this baby, like I said, is not going to have a mother. He's going to have to explain what happened in this situation. It was a horrible situation, and hopefully the motherfucker who did this get caught, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's only words. We have to be able, and that's the problem with most of our people. We do not know how to use conflict resolution, and that's the main thing, in the urban cities, in the hood, and I come from, I'm from Detroit. I would never handle a situation like that, where I would use social media, talk about the person that I'm beefing with, ride around looking for this guy, talk shit about the guy's mother, and a child that I believe that he had that died, and not expect for a motherfucker to come back and do something. So I need for you guys to give me your thoughts on this. Give me your thoughts. I would love to hear your opinion. What do you think? Do you think he got what he deserved? Because that's what a lot of people are saying. He got what he deserved. He put it out there, and when it came back on him, he wasn't ready to deal with it. But do you think he deserved to die? I would love to hear you guys' opinion, your comments. So what's going on, man, out there? It's the Memorial Day weekend. I want y'all guys to be safe out there. There's gonna be a lot of drinking. When you do, be responsible. Because we want to see y'all, with your families and enjoying your life and having a good time. A lot of people you lose their lives around this time, due to, not being responsible. And in this situation, and this kind of reminds me of the situation we were just talking about with this young man. He was being irresponsible on social media, bumping his guns and not ready to deal with the consequences. So like I said, I would love to hear you guys' comments. The comment section is open. A few people have commented, but I want to know, do you think this young man got what he deserved? I'm going to go over to Facebook, too. I have not been on Facebook yet. What up to everybody over there on Instagram? What up to everybody on YouTube and Facebook? I want to say what up, though, to my homeboy, Quasi Cool. Ado, happy birthday to you, man. Happy 50th. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the 50-50 club. Yeah, but it's just senseless, man. And one thing about it, man, I'm glad that baby did not lose his life. He had nothing to do with it. But, what was sad is the sister, she ended up losing her life. She had nothing to do with this stupid ass beef. And I had another, and I'm gonna try to see if I can find that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to go to my emails. Yeah, it's just senseless how, we as blacks, we take our beef to social media. Maybe it's just me, I wouldn't dare do nothing like that in my younger days. This younger generation, man, like I said, sometimes social media can be a gift and it can be a curse. And sometimes our people, we use it in the wrong way. A lot of us do the right things and we use it in the right way, but going live, putting your information out there on who you got beef with, what you're going to do, this, that, and the other. You know, he was putting everything out there, you know, talking about this man's dead mother, and dead son, you know. So a lot, like I said, a lot of people say he deserved what he got. You know, so yeah, like I said, I just want to come in and talk about that for a little bit. And what do you guys think about the NAACP asking young athletes to boycott certain universities? You know, that's going to be something that we're going to talk about in the upcoming days. That the NAACP asking high school athletes to boycott some of these states that. Let me look this up. I don't want to get it wrong, but you know, in my opinion, and Jamil Hill talked about this. You know, and I understand, but I don't think they should use young black athletes to, you know, get their message across, and that's what's pretty much happening. So I disagree. You know, I understand the whole boycotting and you know, but you know, don't use the young men that, you know, let these young men decide and choose where they want to go. But I can't find it offhand. Let me see. Yeah, so I don't want to talk too much about it. That's definitely a story that we're going to talk about in the upcoming days. You know, but pretty much it's about the NAACP are asking young black men, high school men who's coming out or who's getting ready to graduate and go to college to kind of not go to some of these universities. Um, and like I said, and I don't want to quote the wrong thing. So I'll just move on with that. But yeah, man, you know, it's definitely been a good conversation. It's been a good show. And I'll get back to what we actually came in here talked about. We were talking about the young man who went on Facebook out of Detroit, went live with his beef, ended up losing his life, you know, over social media beef, and his sister ended up losing her life too, you know, over some stupid shit, you know. So we have to be more responsible, more resourceful using these social media tools. We cannot use social media, you know, for beef or violence. You know, that's crazy. You know, so we have to get out of that. I don't know where that shit started, but we need to stop it. This should be a lesson learned for those who you know, who use social media for shit like that. You know, we got to get out of that. You know, we need to use social media to try to build our brand, trying to build ourselves up, not to come on here and make fools of ourselves or our race at that. You know, because we have the world looking at us, you know, and that was just a disgrace, you know, to our race, you know, that we allow ourselves to go on social media, you know, and just the things that he was saying, man, you know, it was just horrible, you know. So, you know, hopefully this is a lesson learned for the for our youth, not to go and do some stupid shit like that, because that's all it was. It was stupid. This young man did not have what do you call that? And that's what a lot of our young men are locked up and in jail for, without having just know how to handle situations, conflict resolution. You know, this young man did not use conflict resolution. He allowed for his emotions to get the best of him, you know, and he brought on what he asked for, you know. So, you know, and that's my question to you. And I'm not going to be long. I'm going to go on ahead and end the show. I just want to come on and give my piece on that, you know, because a lot of people have talked about this, did shows on this, and I wanted to wait and see the outcome of what was going to happen. You know, because like I said, I remember the original video when he was actually riding around looking for this guy. And I said, you know what? before I do speak my piece on it, I want to give it a few days and see what happened. You know, and exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. You know, this young man ended up losing his life, you know, over just wordplay, and that's really what it was about. It was over wordplay. You know, we'll probably hear more details about what happened. You know, but what's so crazy? They don't really even have it. They do have a suspect, and it's the guy that he was beefing with. But this guy actually came on social media and talked about it. You know, he said he had nothing to do with it. You know, but it's crazy. You know, man, you got crazy people that come in and just make stupid comments. Look at this stupid motherfucker who just come in here at David Horny. You know, you sound gay. You trying to call me gay with that gay name. You know, but I'm not even gonna read comments like that. You know, but yeah, you know, as a group, man, we have to do better. And what was the adults in his life? You know, he should have you know, some type of father, uncles. Like, look, man, you know, real men don't go on social media, you know, with their beef. You know, real men resolve their beef, you know, in the streets, you know, or really real men use conflict resolution. You know, real men don't have to go on social media trying to air each other out. You know, this young man didn't have conflict resolution. He didn't know how to use it. You know, and therefore, and so did the guy who actually came back and got him. And we don't actually, the police doesn't even have suspects for this murder yet, per se. You know, so you know, but like I said, we're definitely going to keep you guys in tune with this days to come, because it's going to be more about it. You know, it's probably, hopefully, these will be the only lives lost. And I'm glad that this baby that was in the car did not lose his life. You know, it was a shame. But, you know, hopefully they'll catch whoever did this, and, you know, and it's going to be a third person that's going to lose their life. You know, so we have to do better, you guys. We have to do better on these streets. You know, we should be out here helping one and each other. You know, we've been doing this for, you know, since I've been alive, you know, taking each other's lives over stupid shit. You know, I don't understand that. You know, we all come from the same place. We all strive to, you know, try to take care of our families and just, you know, try to work and do what's best for us and our families. You know, what this made no sense, you know, at all. You know, so like I said, hopefully this will be an example for those who have beef that want to come on social media and air their beef out. You know, because like I said, real men do not do no stupid shit like this. You know, real men at the end of the day will sit down and talk. You know, because like I said, shit like that will cause you losing your life. You know, this motherfucker riding around looking for somebody without a gun, and that just didn't make sense at all. You know, and I want to say what up though to my homeboy Big Dave, Real Talk with Big Dave. Make sure you guys go over there on his channel and subscribe. We got some good content for you guys to check out. Real Talk WIT with Big Dave. Make sure you go over there and check him out. But yeah, man, you know, we have to do better as a group, as a race. You know, this young man did not have conflict resolution. He allowed his emotions to get the best of him. You know, and we all do sometimes. You know, even I do at times. You know, allow my emotions to get ahead of me. You know, but I would never do no stupid shit like this. This young man end up letting words cost him his life and his sister's life at the end of the day, you know, and that's all it was, just over some words. You know, like I said, we'll get more information, you know, in this case in the days to come, but it was just senseless, man. You know, two more black people has lost their lives over some stupid social media bullshit. Like I said, we use social media sometimes, you know, for the wrong things. You know, we should be using it, like I said, just trying to build ourselves up, put good information out there to the people. But, you know, we want to go on there and go live. And you know, going forward, this is going to be another conversation to people who's not putting out, you know, positive content, you know, or informational content, be allowed to, you know, should Facebook be allowed to just show shit like that? You know, and that should be the question too. You know, let's talk about that. You know, because and that's the question. Facebook had a hand in that. You know, Well, I'm not going to say that. That's my question. Do you think Facebook had a hand in that, allowing for him to be able to use that platform to go on there and say the things that he said? You know, because at the end of the day, we still don't know if that actually led to him losing his life. You know, but that's a good question. You know, yeah, you know, should Facebook or other, well, put it this way, should the social medias be responsible for allowing people to put out content like that at the end of the day that leads to people losing their lives? You know, because at the end of the day, that's what happened. You know, he went live, he talked shit, he bumped his gums, you know, and he, you know, and like I said, a lot of people think he got what he deserved. You know, do I think he deserved to die? No. You know, no one deserves to die over words, and pretty much that's all it was. You know, like I said, we don't know the full details of the story, but from what we've heard, from what we saw, you know, this young man went on social media talking shit about this man's mother, dead mother, you know, a lot of shit, you know, this man's dead son, and ended up murdered 2 days later, him and his sister. You know, so look, I don't want to hold you guys up long, man. It's Memorial Day weekend. What are you guys got going on? Is y'all pulling out the grill? No, because I'm definitely pulling my grill out. Hopefully the weather stay cool tomorrow. You know, it's going to be a perfect day for grilling. Hopefully this weekend. I don't know what the weather is going to be supposed to be tomorrow, but hopefully it stays cool. That way I'm able to get out there and barbecue in cool weather. And I think I may do that Sunday. Yeah, but yeah, you know, we have to do a better job with conflict resolution. You know, and that's all that was, man. This young man did not have any conflict resolution, you know, because at the end of the day, he should have went on Facebook and been talking about it like, look, man, I'm gonna be the bigger man. I'm gonna squash the beef. Whatever happened between us, it's over with. You know, I love living my life. You know, I don't want to have to, be looking over my back every time I see you. You know, it was a senseless act that he did, and then it was it was another senseless act that the murderer did. You know, hopefully they catch him soon, you know, because we have another murderer out there in the streets of Detroit walking around. You know, so, but yeah, let this be a lesson learned to the youth. You know, you cannot handle things like this. He did not handle that situation right. And then the person that came back and got both of them didn't handle that right. You know, there was no conflict resolution, and that's what we need to, talk more about to the youth. You know, his conflict resolution. We don't have to handle everything with deadly consequences. And and 2 people lost their lives. You know, and a third one will too. To prison. You know, so we have to do a better job. So I advise everyone, to talk to their kids, because these youth, these young folks, they use this social media as tools to be able to talk shit to people and do things that this young man did, and it led to him losing his life. So I advise all adults, who have children, and this man was an adult himself, and what was so crazy, but yeah, it starts at home with teaching your kids that conflict resolution, and that's what it's all about, and these are a lot of things that were probably not taught and brought up and talked to him as a child, as a youngster. I don't know anything about his life, but his father probably was not in his life, because I believe so. If so, his father probably would have talked to him like, look, get the fuck off this Facebook with this stupid ass bullshit. You on here embarrassing yourself, looking stupid, talking stuff crazy to this man and thinking this man not gonna come back and do what he have to do. That was crazy. What do you think that man was going to do? You on social media talking about his mother and his dead son, so if he didn't do it himself, he definitely know who did it. So, but like I said, at the end of the day, if you're not going to be ready to deal with the consequences, don't be on Facebook or social media talking shit if you're not prepared to deal with the consequences. And that's what this was all about. This young man went to social media with a bunch of BS, and he lost his life over that, so look, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Your boy is close to 1,000 subscribers. It's a goal that we set out a few years ago. eFish100 said FAFO, FAFO, whatever. Maybe you meant for sure. But yeah, like I said, this was a goal I set out a few years ago. I'm closing down on my goal, so I can't do it without you guys hitting that button, so at the end of the day, man, we need to do a better job with having conflict resolution, because without that, it's going to lead to more of senseless murders like that, more fights and things like that. Real men talk it out, at the end of the day. So I'm not going to hold you guys up long. It's been another one. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, and just have a good one. Drink responsibly and barbecue responsibly. It's another one. It's your boy Dame D, and I am out. Peace.